And I'll mute you. So welcome to yoga this evening. Please be aware as you move what you've got around you, and know that you do yoga at your own risk, so only you know what it feels like when you move into a posture. So make sure it feels comfortable, not painful. Make any adjustments that you want to. And we're going to start lying down on our backs. So any comfortable position on your back on the floor. You can have your knees bent if that gives your lower back a bit of a break. You can have your legs stretched out. Just make sure that your legs feel relaxed, your arms feel relaxed, palms turned up and arms turned up in that direction is nice for opening, being broader through your top chest, letting your shoulders relax. And then take your attention to your breath. Just start to get that feeling of what your breath does to your body. And imagine that you have a balloon in your tummy. And when you breathe in, your balloon expands. And when you breathe out, your balloon softens back down again. So softens down to a squidgy balloon that has been left for a couple of weeks rather than going flat down again, just a softness. So breathing in to expand it, feel it tighten as it expands, feel it soften as it contracts on your breath out. So balloon in your tummy. There's no movement anywhere else in your body. All limbs completely relaxed on the floor, shoulders relaxed. With every breath you feel your balloon expand and contract. And in your mind's eye, really see your balloon. See the colour of the balloon. See how the colour changes as it stretches big and releases back small again. Having the balloon might cause you to breathe slower and more steadily. That's all good. Whatever it feels like, whatever feels comfortable, visualizing your balloon. And then that balloon at the end of your next exhale is going to stay soft, but a new balloon appears within your rib cage, and that's the one this time that's going to expand as you breathe in and soften as you breathe out. So balloon number 1 doesn't move, it stays soft. Balloon 2 in your chest expands as you breathe in, softens as you breathe out. So a different feeling with that breath. Maybe you need to give your shoulders a moment to relax some more. Maybe your jaw tightens. See what you can relax. Carry on like that. I'm going to tell you how we're going to make our final change, and when you understand it, then move when you're ready into that new pattern. So the new pattern is going to be an exhale But as you breathe in, your tummy balloon, balloon number 1, only expands. When it gets as full as it wants to be, it stays inflated. Balloon number 2 in your chest then inflates as well, so you breathe in some more. And when you get to the top of that breath, you have a slow exhale, letting them both soften back down. So the in-breath is in 2 parts. The first part just expands your tummy balloon. The second part just expands your chest balloon. The exhale is one slow let go of both. Maybe a bit of awareness around what makes you know that each balloon is full, and how when balloon number 1 is full, there's still a bit of room for balloon number 2 to inflate. And staying with that as much as you can. You may need to change it slightly. Take your arms by your sides. We're going to make the same movement as normal with our arms. So as you breathe in through your tummy, you lift your arms until they're vertical. And then the second part of the lift of your arms over your head, it's the balloon number 2 that's going to expand. And then as you exhale, your arms come slowly down as both balloons come down. So your arms match balloon 1 and balloon 2. Balloon 1 up to vertical, balloon 2 vertical back over your head, and then releasing back down. So balloon 2 might be a little bit compromised because you're moving your arms and you're stretching the available space, and that's just to be noticed, just an observation of what adjustments you need to make. And that's really what yoga postures are all about. I can give you instructions on what to do, but as you do them, you feel what they feel like and what little changes you need to make it fit your body. So the next time your arms land by your sides, let them stay there. And let your breath come back to a natural pattern. And bend your knees, bring your knees up onto your chest, take your hands around your knees, have a rock side to side. Rest at the centre, bring your feet back down on the floor, have a look which side is your best way to roll. Roll that way and then gently come up to standing. We're going to do our salute to the sun. You want to be standing at the top end of your mat, facing out over the thin edge, ready to take a step back. And toes pointing forwards, feet together or a little bit apart, whatever feels comfortable. And close your eyes if it feels comfy and well balanced to do so. So equally weighted on both feet. A nice footprint being made of the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet. Gentle mark with each toe. And in your mind's eye, see a plasticine figure in front of you, standing just like you are. And then the plasticine is nice and soft, so you can stretch him a little bit taller. And as you stretch him, make that same action in yourself. So you've got to glue your feet down to the floor, maybe the rib cage lifts up away from the hips, but your arms and shoulders stay completely relaxed. And open your eyes, a soft gaze straight ahead. Lift your arms up to the ceiling. So make a strong lift of your arms. Take them, the upper arms maybe a little bit closer to the wall behind. Just feel that bit of sort of strength in your arms, reaching to their maximum. And then look up between your fingers, reach your arms back and wide. Shoulders relaxed. It's like your armpits turn up towards the ceiling and the centre of your chest lifts towards the ceiling. And then look forwards, reach your fingers to the ceiling again. Then take a forward fold, a bit of a bend of your knees. Fingers on the floor. Let everything hang. Have a moment, just feel what feels a bit tight. Your attention on it maybe will soften it, but if it doesn't, that's okay. Just keep your attention on anything that feels a bit tight. Right leg steps back to a lunge. Lift your chest, look forwards. And then left foot steps back to down face dog. Hit that upside down V shape, tummy button to spine. And then slide forwards to plank. Smooth movement to straighten out your body. Knees gently down on the floor. And then front body smoothly down. Elbows close in by your sides as you lower down. And roll your shoulders back. Take a lift of your chest. Torch shining out along the floor. Maybe even shining at the wall in front of you. Look back down. Push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. Lift into your down face dog. Adjust your feet and hands if you feel you need to, and then we're going to walk through the legs. So a straightening of one leg. Once it's straightened, see if you can just lengthen your hips a little bit back, and then change over leg, straighten the other leg, and then see if you've collapsed your hips a little bit, ease them back. And then a stretch of both legs. Like you've got a sponge under each heel, trying to push it down towards the floor, but not letting your sort of bum tuck under and move towards the floor as well, but pushing up with the backs of your thighs at the same time to push your hips back up to lengthen the backs of your legs. So weight on your left foot, look between your hands, and step your right foot through to a lunge. Forwards, and then step the left foot forwards, forward fold. See how it feels this time. Where were the tight bits before? Deep bend of both knees, hips down low. Keep your hips low, lift your shoulders. Straighten your legs, reach all the way up. Arms strong, palms together, and then slide your palms down. Standing as tall as your little plasticine figure was standing. And then lift your arms. Strong arms. Look up, reach back and wide. Look forwards, reach up. Forward fold. Left leg back to a lunge. Strong back leg. Right foot back to down face dog. Tummy button to spine, hands and feet firm on the floor. Glide forwards. Glide as if it's easy, hold it as if it's easy, and lower your knees or leave them lifted, and then lower front body down to the floor. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And look back down, hands and knees, tuck your toes under, back into down face dog. tummy button to spine. And this time in down face dog, you've got your little plasticine figure in down face dog as well. So what you're going to do with him, with his stretchy body, is elongate him from his hands to his hips, and feel his movement in you. Probably around the waist. That's the bit that's really going to stretch. Maybe the angle of your arms at your shoulders. And then weight on your right foot. Look between your hands and step the left foot through to a lunge. Step the right foot forwards, forward fold. And a deep bend of your knees, hips low. Lift your shoulders. Bring yourself all the way up to standing, palms together, and slide your palms down. So with the breath this time, breath in to lift your arms. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. Tummy button to spine, hands and feet firm on the floor. As you take a breath in, lift your hips a little bit higher. As you breathe out, press your hands and feet down into the floor and see if your hips just move a slight bit back. So a breath in to lift your hips, a breath out to push down with your hands and feet, see if your hips go back. Another breath in and another breath out. And then weight on your left foot, look between your hands. Breath in, right foot forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up. Exhale, palms down. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. Stay with that slow, steady breath. Hands and feet where you think they're best positioned. Tummy button to spine. And again, as you breathe in, lift your hips. As you breathe out, press into your hands and feet. See if your hips move back a little bit. So breath in, hips up. Exhale, hands and feet firm. One more breath in to lift your hips. And a breath out to push down with your hands and feet. And then weight on your right foot, look between your hands. Step the left foot through with a breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up. Exhale, palms down. Breath in here. And a breath out. And just a step of your feet apart, rest your arms. Feel all the clamour inside and let it settle. Know that it's okay. So to balance. So we're going to do a balance on one foot, taking our knee out to the side. So if we take the left leg out first, if you want something to balance on, have it near your right hand. So 2 even footprints on the floor, an upright position. See if you can hold that exact same position. So there's got to be a little bit of transfer of weight and centre of gravity, but keep it as much as you can as you pick up your left knee. Hold it in front or underneath. and take the left arm, the right arm out to the side. So the thing that we often do when we pick up a foot, and the foundation has changed, the centre of gravity has changed, often pushing that hip out to the side, so kind of feel like you're narrowing your hips. And then take a breath in. As you exhale, left knee out to the left. And the same standing tall feeling with the rest of your body. What's the distance from your left knee to your right fingertips? Can it go any wider? So you're going to leave the leg where it is, lift up the left arm, and then bring the knee to the centre line. Stand straight, and then lower the leg to the floor. Rest your arms. Lovely. So if you had something to hold on to, you may want to turn around or find something on the other side. Feel what it feels like to stand strong and straight, and don't change anything other than picking up your right knee. Hold underneath it. And then left arm out to the side. So don't let your hips sink down to the floor. Squeeze them in, lift them up. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, right knee out to the right. So no movement to the right with your hips or your shoulders, just your leg. And the distance between your right knee and your left fingers as long as it can be. Okay. I'm going to leave the leg there, stretch the right arm out, and then bring the knee back to the centre. Foot to the floor, arms by your sides. Perfect balance. So we're going to lie down on our backs. So lie down on your back. Once you get there, have a moment just to feel any sensations in your body. So a little scan of your body, see what it feels like. Presumably no pain, hopefully no pain. Obviously stuff that goes on, I know that. But we often only notice the pain in our body, and we don't notice all the little sensations as a result of the things we do. So done a lot of stuff with the legs and the hips, so maybe there are some sensations going on. And take a bend of your knees, feet onto the mat, and then knees onto your chest. Squeeze them in nice and tight. We're going to take an abdominal exercise. So arms come wide out to the side, palm face up. You're going to imagine that both your legs are glued together as if there's only one leg there. They're zipped up together. And they're pulled, the knees are pulled as close up towards your face as they can be. Then take a breath in there, keeping the backs of your arms on the floor. Just take your legs halfway over to the right side. So halfway over, then that gives you a chance just to check that both backs of the arms are still on the floor, the legs are still zipped, and they're still tucked up. If you've got the abdominal strength, you can go a little bit lower, hovering off the floor. And you're going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, roll back to the centre. So zipped legs tucked up tight, take a breath in, and then as you exhale, just go halfway down. Breathe when you get there. Just check out your arms, check Check out the zipped legs, the tucked up knees. Maybe go a little bit lower if that feels a good thing to do, only if you want it stronger. Another breath in, and then as you exhale, back to the centre. At the centre, feet to the floor. So you know what's coming. We're going to do 3 to each side. Be as thoughtful as you can with what's going on with your legs, trying to keep them together and keeping them tucked up. Tucked up looks after your lower back, so that's a good thing. But if your lower back doesn't like it, then come and rest here. I'm going to do 3 to each side with the breath, and if you don't want to go the same pace of breath that I suggest, then that's fine. After 3, you come back to this position. So knees to chest, zip them up, tuck them in tight, take a breath in, and as you exhale, take them over to the right. So remember how they're all feeling, the backs of your arms, your legs. As you inhale, you stay there, tucking them up. As you exhale, you roll back to the centre. Breath in at the centre. Exhale, legs to the left. Hover as you breathe in. Exhale as you roll back to the centre. So you're only moving on the breaths out. Breath in here. Exhale, legs to the right. Keep them tucked up. Keep having to remind yourself that. Breath in to hover. Breath out to roll onto your back. Zipped up, tucked in. Breath in. Exhale over to the left. Like you're trying to bring your knees right up to your left armpit. Breath in to hover. Breath out to roll back. 1 more to each side. A breath in. Exhale right. Inhale to hover. Exhale, roll back. Breath in. Exhale left. Inhale to hover. Exhale back to the centre. And then feet onto the floor. Stretch your legs out. Keep your arms palm face up, but bring them halfway down so that your shoulders get a bit of a rest. And then bend your knees, feet onto the mat once again for Setu Bandha bridge. So feet nice and close in towards you, so your shins feel vertical and feet hip distance apart, toes a little bit turned in. Arms by your sides, palm face down. No block under the back of your head. If you have one, slide it out. So firm down with your feet. And so firm down with your feet that your hips lift up away from the floor. See how much that first press down with your feet lifts your hips. It's not going to be your maximum, but then you're going to press down some more. Feel there's just another inch of lift. So your feet press your hips up. And then bend your elbows so that your fingers point up towards the ceiling. You want to have your elbows as narrow as your shoulders, so if you want to tuck them in a little bit, you can. And then you've got a bit of force now that you can use to press your upper arms down into the floor. Feel how your upper back moves away from the floor and your chest domes up to the ceiling. So your armpits are still down on the floor, but the centre of your chest is doming up. And as it domes up, you can press some more into your feet to lift your hips as well. So use all that force down to get a real billowing feeling of the front of your body. One more strong press down, your biggest lift, upper arms and your feet. And then keep your hips lifted, but take your hands back down to the floor and send your hips slowly but strongly towards your heels. It's like you're stretching your back out lengthways towards your heels as it rolls back down. Take your time. Take longer to roll down if you want to, but when you've rolled down, bring your knees onto your chest. Take your hands around your knees. Have a breath in here, and as you exhale, bring your forehead up towards your knees. Relax your shoulders. It's like an upside down child's pose. Then gently upper back and back of your head back down onto the floor. Keep a hold of your knees. When the head lands, then you can have a rock side to side. Come to rest at the centre. Place your feet back down on the floor. Rest your arms. And we're going to make our way back up to standing. So maybe roll to one side. Wind your way up. Don't rush up. We're going to do a side stretch first. So you have to be anyway for that. But then we're going to move into second warrior with looking at the long edge of the mat. So if you can have your mat the same way as me, then do. If you can't, it doesn't matter. Of course. So face your screen to start with, because it doesn't matter which way you're standing on your mat, and have your feet a nice comfortable hip distance apart, or wider if it feels more comfy for you. You can take a side stretch. So feet just hip distance apart, not too wide apart. Lovely. And imagine a wall behind you, and every part of the back of your body just has a very light contact on the wall, and it's going to stay in that light contact as you slide down the wall to your right. So your legs don't move, it's a side bend. Your spine makes a C-shaped curve, and your right arm can hang heavy. So try to balance on both feet. And take it a little bit stronger. The left hand comes on the back of your head, and reach your elbow towards the ceiling, but your upper arm, the upper left arm, still touching the wall behind you, and the back of the head. Often we tuck the chin in, but let the back of the head touch your wall as well. So as you breathe in, firm down through your left foot and stretch your elbow higher up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, soften your right side, let yourself hang. So 2 more breaths like that. Breath in, elbow up, foot down on the left side, big stretch. Exhale, soften your right side. 1 more breath in on the left side. And a relax on the right side, exhale. Then as you breathe in, bring yourself back upright. Rest your arm by your side. Feel the wall behind you. And then slide down to the left. The left arm hangs loose. Just a moment to get the feel of it, and then right hand onto the back of your head. Make sure you've still got the wall everywhere on the back of your body. Right foot firmly down, right elbow up towards the ceiling, breath in. And then exhale, soften your left side again. Breath in, stretch again on your right side. Breath out, soften the left side. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. And a breath in to come back up. And then rest your arm by your side. Fantastic. So I'm going to take a forward fold. So hands on hips. Feet hip distance, toes pointing forwards. And then take a breath in to lift the front of your body long. As you exhale, you're going to hinge at your hips. So feel the hinge at your hips. You feel your thumbs. You can feel that your lower back isn't rounding. Your whole upper body is folding forwards. And when it won't go any further, then you bend your knees. Once you've had a good bend of your knees, then relax your shoulders, relax your ribs, your chest, your head and neck. Let go of your hips. Take a hold of the opposite elbow with each hand. Let everything relax.
Check in with your feet, make sure you've got that firm footprint through both feet again. Really see what it feels like to draw your tummy button in, because that sometimes makes your rib cage feel like it hangs a little bit looser. And then release your elbows. Deep bend of both knees, tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin in, roll back up to standing.
So now we want to have the long edge of the mat in front of us because we're going to step our feet wide apart. If you can't do that, then turn this away so that you're facing the left, and then you'll be, when you turn your head, you'll be looking forwards. Lovely. Perfect. So hands on hips, left leg in, right leg out. So we're going to do second warrior. We're going to think about the back leg, the left leg, as if the left leg is like an iron girder that's holding you really steady. So feel the foot on the floor. Girder is dug into the ground. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, bend the right knee. Bend it out in the direction of your toes. See how far it wants to bend. Have a quick check. Make sure that your knee is above your ankle, not beyond your ankle, and that your knee's bent in the right way towards your toes. Then turn to the front. Re-dig your girder end back into the floor. Squeeze your thigh to make it really tight. It's not about straightening your knee, because often we over straighten the knee with that thought, but a tight thigh, and really like it's dug an inch into the floor behind, and arms stretching out. So you can keep looking ahead, or you can turn and look over your right fingers. So if you're sideways on, you should be looking forwards now, if you like to do that. So girder leg, take a breath in. Keep it a girder leg and just sink off it, sink off that girder. So breath in again, dig it into the ground, tighten the thigh. Exhale, sink off that girder. One more breath in and a breath out. And then a breath in to straighten the right leg. Lovely, made it really good. And then hands on hips, toes to the front. Have a moment there. Turn the right leg in, turn the left leg out. Oh, sorry, so if you're sideways on and you want to, you can turn the other way so that when you look over your fingers, you're looking towards the front, but I don't mind whether you do that or not. So this time your right leg is your girder. Dig it into the floor, dig it deep. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, bend the left knee. Right out to the side. Lovely. Take a quick check. Make sure knee and ankle are aligned. Marcus, you want yours a bit further away. Yeah, you knew that. Lovely. Stretch your arms out. So you can look forwards or you can look out over the left fingers. Dig your girder in again. It keeps on lifting up out of the ground. Dig it in firmly. Squeeze your right thigh. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, let yourself hang off it and sink a little bit. So breath in, re-dig in, re-tighten. Exhale, sink off it. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then a breath in to come all the way back up. Perfect. Hands on hips. Turn your feet to the front. Couple of breaths there. So wide leg forward fold. Toes turn in a little bit. If your legs feel dangerously wide, bring them slightly in. But wide is good. So both legs are girders this time. Really dig them into the floor. Feel a bit of tightness in your thighs. Feel like that triangle is going to support you, because it's only your upper body that's going to move. Your upper body and your hips, of course, because you're going to tilt your hips. So breath in here, lifting your chest. As you exhale, hinge your hips, but keep your legs back strong. Feel them digging in the whole time, as if you're trying to get them an inch into the floor. So see how far you go with a flat back. Once you can't go any further, you let go with your hands and relax your shoulders. Let yourself hang now. So no flat back, just let it hang. If your hands touch the floor, leave them there. If they don't touch the floor, support them with your legs. Hold your legs. So don't be dangling, because that's pretty tough on your back and other places. Have a bit of support. But if you hold on to your legs, you do still have that option to lift up through the backs of your legs, as you have with your hands on the floor. So we're going to take that option with 3 breaths here. So as you breathe in, you push up as if you're trying to lift the skin on the backs of your thighs. And as you breathe out, you soften your shoulders, you relax what you can. So 2 more breaths there. Breath in, stretching up through the backs of your thighs. Exhale, relaxing a little. 1 more breath in. Big push up through the backs of your thighs. And a breath out to soften your shoulders. Then take a good deep bend of your knees. So deep that you can get your fingers on the floor underneath your shoulders, which will be a little bit in front of your mat probably. And then heel toe your feet so that they come to a little bit wider than hip distance, a squatting distance. I'm going to lower into a squat. So if it doesn't feel like a good thing for you to do, sit yourself down instead. But go slow, feel your way down, take your knees over in the direction of your toes. You can stop anywhere, you can stop and rest halfway, is absolutely fine. If you get all the way down, then push your knees out with your elbows. Imagine that you've got a weight hanging off your tailbone. Lovely. So if you're low down, you might be able to take your hands behind you and just sit back down. If you're a little higher up, then bring your hands on the floor in front of you, lift your hips and then kneel down. And you're going to come and lie down for a moment on your back. So lie down. Have a few breaths there. And then bend your knees. We're going to make our way up to sitting, so maybe rolling to one side, maybe rocking forwards and coming up. So find your block, pop your block behind you. So there's my block. I'm going to use that in a minute, yeah, or pillow is good. And then sit with your feet wider than your hips, but nice and close in. So I've got my mat this way round, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter where you've got your mat, I suppose. This way if you can. So feet nice and wide apart, nice and close in on your mat. You're going to take both knees over to the left side. And as you do that, turn and face the left side as well. You're going to put your right hand on the floor. You can move your block. We're not using the block at the very moment. Left hand, on the floor to the left side, because we're going to lean onto that hand and lift the hips. So lift your hips up off the floor. Feel like you're lifting your left hip up away from the floor as much as you can. Then stretch your right arm beyond. So it's just a big stretch. Whole of the right side stretches. You can feel the stretch on the right side, or you can turn your tummy button and your chest more towards the ceiling, kind of feel like it's more of an open chested stretch. Find what gives you a good stretch, but push your hips forwards, stretching the fronts of the legs as well. So take your attention to your left hip again, lower it gently onto the floor. And then bring yourself back up. We're going to stay where you are though. You're going to tuck this left foot in a little bit more, and then get your block from behind, put it under your bum. So what we're going to do is a twist. I'll show you where we're putting the legs because it's a little bit complicated. I've got my left foot in close, and my right leg, your right leg, sorry, is going to go all the way across. So the block is there so that you can sit more comfortably. Yes, you're all in exactly the right place as much as I can see. So the block is there. If you took the block away, you'll probably find that your left buttock sits on the floor and the right buttock doesn't really. So slip the block under. You can have both sides on the block. I quite like one side on the block and one side on my heel. But the idea is that it makes your spine upright. I'll give you a little view from the back. If I sit without a block, I feel like I'm a bit curved in the spine because my hips aren't square at the bottom. If I pop this under, then I can sit up tall, and it's a really quite comfortable place to be. So you're on the side. I'm going to turn around to the side with you. And take your left hand on your right knee and your right hand on the floor behind. So sit yourself tall. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, you turn to the right. So breath in to lift tall, a breath out to turn to the right with your own breath. Maybe think about drawing the right knee in towards your left side. Would quite like to flop away from the body really, but bring it in. That's a good stretch on the outside of the right hip. So 2 more breaths here. Breath in to lift up. Breath out to turn. 1 more breath in. 1 more breath out. Lovely. And then just relax everything as you turn back to the front. Unhook that foot. Turn to the front again. We're going to put the block behind us and feet wide apart. So you have to hold yourself up with your hands behind, but feet wide apart, and then drop both knees over to the right side. We're going to take the stretch again. So my right hand, your right hand, is going to go on the floor on the right side so that you can lean into it and lift your hips away from the floor. And then stretch your left arm over the top. So think about lifting your right hip away from the floor and then pushing your hips forward so that you get a big stretch on the front of your left top of the leg. And you can stretch your arm, fingers out to that wall behind you. You can even, if you want to, turn your chest up towards the ceiling, almost opening your left arm out a little bit. Whatever gives you a good stretch. Push your hips forwards again. And then attention to your right hip. Let it lower slowly back down to the floor. Remember, you're going to stay looking at that right end of your mat. Tuck in this right foot. Get your block ready. You can slip the block in afterwards if you'd rather, but this left leg is going to go all the way around the other side of your knee, and then sort yourself out on your block or wherever you want to be. So what I forgot to say last time is if your knee doesn't like it, hopefully you will have noticed that, and you can stretch your leg out instead rather than having it tucked under. It's fine to make the adjustments that you want to make. So my knee doesn't particularly like it on this side, so I'm going to have my leg straight, but I've got this leg over the top. Right hand on left knee, left hand on the floor behind. So sit tall. Lovely. Breath in. And an exhale to turn to the left. Breath in. Breath out to turn. So with your own breath. Drawing that left knee a bit closer to your right armpit. One more breath in, big lift. Exhale to turn. And then let everything relax. Stretch out the left leg. So we're going to stay sideways on. But this is where you want your second cushion, or your or your first cushion if you've got a block. So I said a block and a cushion, or 2 cushions. So you're going to sit on one, and you're going to place the other one. I've got a folded up blanket. You're going to put the other one tight in close. If you've got a cushion, you might want to fold it up, like if that was the cushion, maybe you could fold it over. Wedge it in as tight as you can, but you want to be sat nicely on the block with your pillow or whatever you've got, cushion, just at the tops of the backs of your thighs. So feet a little bit apart and knees a little bit bent, but you should hopefully be able to feel your cushion at the top of your back of your legs. So you can have your hands by your sides. What I would like you to do is to try to find a way to press the backs of your thighs and squeeze your cushion down closer to the floor. And what I want you to try and feel when you make that action is that you can arch your back a little bit as you do that. And if you can arch your back, then that means you can probably fold a little bit forwards. So you're not rounding your back to come forwards, you're sort of arching it and then just bringing it back in line. And then you press back down through the tops of your thighs again. So if I push down through the tops of my thighs, if you look at my hips here, if I push down, it's like I push back, it pushes out there, and I've almost got a bit more space here to then lean forwards. That's the idea, that pushing down feeling almost pushes down and back. So wherever you are, you might have found that you've come a bit forwards. You might find that you can stretch your legs a bit straighter. You might still be right up vertical, and that's fine. But every time you breathe in, press down through the backs of your thighs, push your bum out behind, and then as you breathe out, see if you can relax your shoulders a bit more. Shoulders, head and neck. So every breath in, it's the backs of the thighs and that action up and out. And when you exhale, ease off a bit and relax. So carry on with your own breath. If you just try and press down the whole time, the body resists. So give it a moment's break with your breath out. And with your breath in, you re-press down. It's the whole width of the back of your thigh that's pressing down. For some people, it's nice to roll the knees outwards, but we're not rolling the knees outwards, they're staying pointing to the ceiling. So the whole width of the back of your thigh pushes down, sends your tailbone and the tops of, or the sort of underside of your hips back. And stay there for 3 more breaths. So breath in to push down, breath out to ease off. Another breath in, and a breath out, and then 1 more breath in. Final breath out to ease off a bit, and walk your hands up towards your hips, chin to chest. Bring yourself back upright. And you can remove your bits and pieces. Have a lie down on your back. Have your knees bent for a moment. Take your feet wide again. Take your arms a little bit wide. Let your knees rock from side to side. Just in a pace that feels comfortable. Maybe slower than me, maybe faster. And you come to rest at the centre. Keep your knees bent. Bring your feet together as close to you as you can, and then take your knees wide apart. Let the soles of your feet touch. And then let your knees drop right out to the side. Close your eyes. Palms face up. Come back to that sensation of your tummy balloon, just your balloon number 1. Anytime that you're not comfy with your legs like this, then feel free to stretch them out. When you're ready, introduce balloon 2. So inflate balloon 1, keep it inflated at the top. Inflate balloon 2 with the same breath in, and then one slow breath out, letting them both go. Can you slow your breath down and still make it comfortable? Stay with the same breath, but stretch your legs out. Two more balloon breaths and then natural breathing. Take your arms over beyond your head. So be careful if there's stuff there in the way. Feel your way into that stretch of your arms. Bring your legs together. Push your heels away. Pull your toes up towards your face. And then point your toes away. And let everything relax. Bend both knees. Bring your feet onto the mat. Knees onto your chest, one hand on each knee, and guide your knees round in a big circle. Back the other way to your circle. Change your semicircle to a rock from side to side. Have a moment just to check which side is best for you to roll onto in a moment. And then when you're ready, roll to that side. Gently back up to sitting. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me.